Hey guys, Matt, just 30 seconds. I'm doing chapter 10a very quickly here because I felt chapter 9 wasn't up to par. The reading wasn't right. There were no pauses. It was rapid fire. This is all new to me. I'm learning my lessons as well. And this has to be entertaining because it's very long. It just wasn't good enough. Now, think where we are. We're presenting the top list of reasons why 9/11 violates the first rule of truth, and saying that it's just not good enough. But it wasn't good enough. So I'm going to make it up to you right now with this little hit piece on Julian Assange, another violation of the first rule of truth. Chapter 10, Part A, first part of Chapter 10, A Reality Few Can See. Truth Exercise, Julian Assange, and Wikileaks. I also took off that echo, guys. It was a feature in recording. I think just my direct voice here is better. If you wanted the echo back, please let me know. Julian Assange, Wikileaks, a truth exercise. Now, this will be shocking to all but the old guard, but I think Wikileaks is a massive ruse. I don't have all the answers. Maybe Julian Assange is really living in the Ecuador embassy and he's been there for years. Maybe WikiLeaks has collected up millions of secret documents. I don't care about the details because the basics make no sense. If you can't see major problems with the story that surrounds WikiLeaks, it's only because you've been conditioned for a lifetime not to. I'm not going to give any answers or discuss too much detail here. I'm simply going to ask questions to get your common sense and inner knowing activated, the part of us that's long since been pronounced dead. We're told WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange and his release of secret, classified information is dangerous to the old control structure and the Hillary Clinton-type criminals in government. The powers that be are supposedly terrified of Assange. We're told the release of information via these leaks about the nefarious deep state could crumble the system itself. By the way, we're told the same thing about QAnon, and nothing ever happens either. So the story is, they cooked up these charges against Julian Assange, and to avoid arrest, he sought political asylum from Ecuador. So as of 2019, he's currently hiding out in the Ecuador embassy in London with limited internet access, playing a lot of one-man naked twister between visits from Pamela Anderson. That's true. It's not a joke. He's visited by Pamela Anderson. Let's start with this. Does it make any sense that they can't get to him if they really want to get to him? They supposedly want him so badly, and he's such a threat to the system that we're told he literally keeps his head away from open windows in fear of a Lee Harvey Oswald bullet. Let me ask you this. Do you think Microsoft has the ability to put a PC repair guy in Pittsburgh out of business? Do you think Warner Brothers is threatened by the video club of Overbrook High School in Philadelphia? Do you think the Rolling Stones is threatened by the Glee Club of the University of Wisconsin? You get the point. Do you think $1 trillion infrastructure, the United States and all of the West, or the creepy elements behind all of it, do you think they have the means of getting Assange if they really, really want to? Of course they do. He's Assange supposedly hiding out in the embassy of some 2-bit country. Let's look at little old Ecuador. How is Ecuador defying the world power in all of this, or all of the West? Remember, it wasn't even the United States driving all this. I think Sweden initially brought the underage sex charges or whatever against Assange initially. So the European Union's involved. If any of this was real, what does that government do, Ecuador, when paid a visit by the men in black representing the United States, Europe, and the West, who say, release him to us or else? Do you think little old Ecuador is so righteous that they're willing to stand up to the biggest bully the world has ever seen, risking their entire way of life for themselves and all their citizens in the process? No. I don't know why the, quote, West collapsed Venezuela, but they did. Now, I know all about Chavez. I know all about Maduro. If anybody can see the sinister nature of what is in control here on this earth, you wouldn't be so quick to isolate what's going on in Venezuela to two dictators. It's well beyond that. I don't care what they tell us on the news about Chavez and Maduro. There's a whole hidden set of stuff going on behind the scenes to take down and collapse Venezuela, what should be one of the richest countries in the world. It doesn't make sense what's happening in Venezuela. It doesn't add up, but that is not the point of this video. If the powers that be in this world really, really wanted Assange, they could threaten to turn Ecuador into something that even the Venezuelans today would avoid. No, I'm sorry. The leaders of Ecuador are not going to risk their entire country over a skinny little white face. Then, as usual, you have the ridiculous elements of the story introduced into the script, as usual, like sandwich visits from Pamela Anderson, and I guess we're supposed to read between the lines, conjugal visits, and we have Lady Gaga visiting Assange, taking pictures in her witch's outfit and witch's hat, as Assange is there pictured in white, of course. Now, what's really going on with Assange? What's really this WikiLeaks all about? I don't know exactly. My job is just to call bullshit. I don't have all the who, what, where, when, why, and how, and every single detail associated with that. All I can do now is ask that you see that the official story, as always, breaks down again. Amazingly, there could actually be a few people reading this now or listening that say to me, Matt, the Embassy of Ecuador in London is actually Ecuadorian soil. There's nothing they can do to get him. It's not their jurisdiction. Really? If you believe that, you've been so brainwashed by society's script there is no need to keep reading. You are that far gone off the side of naive mountain. People actually tell you and I that they can't get to him because he's on official Ecuador soil living in the embassy. Well, that implies the Dark Ones actually respect international law. It's like a local Korean dry cleaner saying, I'm no longer paying Tony Soprano. Let him take me to court and sue me. What? Then we truthers get the cherry on top that clarifies everything regarding Assange and WikiLeaks. Hollywood makes a movie about him. How is he portrayed in the movie? He's portrayed as an altruistic justice seeker, just out to help the little guy. Now, Hollywood is the favorite tool of the system itself. If Assange is a threat to the powers that be, would those same powers praise him in a movie? What about the most basic part of the story itself, the leaks? Supposedly, we have all these leaks from WikiLeaks and Julian Assange, millions of pages exposing corruption. And Assange's organization is responsible for it all. Now, in a weird way, this reminds me of both Spider-Man and Batman. These masked figures are fighting crime all day long, helping out, like Assange, and instead of getting awards and medals, the authorities keep trying to arrest them. Perhaps Assange is Batman. Back to the hundreds of thousands of these supposed leaks. What have all these leaks done for humanity? How has your life changed? Has anyone that you know high level ever gone to jail? Didn't we hear Assange had all sorts of stuff on Hillary? Why isn't she in jail then? As far as I know, Anthony's wiener is still out in the open and stiff in the wind. There's supposedly all these people risking their lives to get these leaks. Assange and his people are risking their lives to get these leaks, and nothing ever comes from it? I ask you, what has really come out of WikiLeaks? Who's gone to jail? What did all of this stuff in Vault 7 accomplish? Squat! Now guys, I understand that when you do research on WikiLeaks, on Wikipedopedia, there's all sorts of international and Latin American corruption that WikiLeaks was instrumental in bringing down, whole list of things. But it's nothing that's ever touched our lives in the West. How's that possible? Even if all that they list, all that WikiLeaks has done battling Latin American corruption and international things that we have no direct contact with or relation to, even if all that was real, it would be easy enough for an entity that doesn't need WikiLeaks because they listen in on everything directly, the NSA, to have gobbled up all those documents themselves. Then potentially WikiLeaks was used as a front to absolve the involvement of any government in getting the information, if you see what I mean. To me, WikiLeaks violated the first rule of truth years ago. So what do? We simply declare it bullshit and we don't spend any more time on it. We don't do any more research. We don't need to. Julian, call down the street for some shepherd's pie, my man. It's on me. Remember, he's not in Ecuador. He's in London.